where inmates were having sex with staff members. Usually it happens like in the medical unit because they can go into a room and close the door. Now, I've also seen in a county jail detention center setting where there's like a vacant cell open next door, a couple cell doors down, where the staff member will take the inmate in the middle of the night out of the cell, walk him 2 cells down, and I don't know, do whatever. So she's convenient, but does he really need her? Probably not. I mean, he can't hide. This guy's 6'9". If this was me, and I've done some consulting with people that had crazy ideas, she had plenty of time, Ashley, to plan this out, really. She probably rented a place, I don't know, 150, 200 miles away, stocked it with food, ammunition, whatever they needed, and they're just hiding out for things to cool down. I mean, I could be completely wrong, but I know the mindset of the criminal and how they think.
Well, and you have a term that is used on the inside for people who cozy up to guards to get special attention.
Yeah.
What's that term?
They're called, we call them leg riders. They're riding the cop's leg for special favors. Extra phone calls, extra minutes on their phone, extra food, special visits. I mean, all kinds of things. She obviously provided some type of special services for him. We don't know to what extent, but people who cozy up to the cops, generally other inmates think they're like a rat or an informant. You're supposed to limit your contact with correctional officers. And this is a red flag. Inmates try to trade information to staff for their own personal use, their own favors. What really surprises me is that none of the inmates reported this to internal affairs or whoever. Now, maybe other inmates were in on it and knew what was going to happen. In a federal institution, when people escape, they generally lock the place down for about 2 weeks, and they interview each and every person, each and every inmate. Now, right now, they're combing through his telephone records to see who he might have called. And they're probably getting her CDRs from her cell phone, her call detail reports. And they're trying to string things together. She's probably got a burner phone, but what she doesn't know, if she traveled and set things up in advance, it's kind of like the Capitol riot where they're able to track the cell phones. They could ping her phone and go back maybe a month. They can see all the places her phone was used at and use that as the location to concentrate their search.
I just, looking at this video, I just find it so astounding, Larry. And I got to wrap it here, but just the fact that they just walked out so cavalierly. He didn't even have leg shackles on, and no one said anything. No one questioned it. No one ever questioned her cozying up to him. No one ever noticed the logs that she was visiting him at the prison.
Well, I know you've got to wrap this up, but real quick, even in a federal institution, let's say a minimum security camp, where there's no fences, there's no cells. When an inmate goes on a medical trip, there's always 2 staff members with them. And this should have been the initial red flag to whoever was there on duty watching her take him away. But she was assistant director of corrections. So essentially, she was the other cop's boss. So go figure.
Yeah. And weirdly enough, because they were holding him at this jail and they knew that he had intentions to escape, they had instituted the policy of a dual officer escort. And there she is breaking it right in front of everybody and right in front of the cameras. Larry, I'm going to ask you back, too, because I think that this story's not over. And I think there's going to be probably a pretty ugly end to it. And I'd love to have you back. There's still so much more I want to ask you. Thanks for doing this tonight.
Ashley.
It's good to have you.
All right, honey, take care.
All right, thanks, Larry. Thank you for watching. Click the red subscribe button below so you can get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.